Hello, friends. It's SecretDoorGaming. It's been a bit of a while, and sorry I've been gone for some time. Just dealing with some things and looking after my mental health. But I'm back, and I hope to be able to upload some more videos. This game is called Redstone Gems. It's a free indie game on itch. And of course, I just adore the music. It's wonderful, and it's fantasy. It's got romance, and it's definitely up my alley. It kind of reminds me of Italian or something Italian like, but enough jibber jabbers. So let's get right into it. Just wanted you to hear some of the music in the background. It's so lovely. The rain fell in an endless stream that late autumn night. Even in the summer, Lima Lie's rain had an infamous steely bite, the kind that chilled your back and soaked your bones, and lingered long, long afterwards. It was something even the locals didn't get used to. Heaven knows I never did. Or maybe this is kind of like a fantasy London. Anastasia. Glad I decided to bring my umbrella after all. I sighed and took out my pocket watch. It was nearly 1 in the morning. I frowned. If he had gotten here when he was supposed to, I would have beaten the rain. I looked down the hazy, wet streets and saw no signs of life. Ooh, is she on a blind date? 1 in the morning? It's kind of strange. Dab. I snapped my watch closed. He still isn't here. Oh, I just wanted to mention that I'm not sure if this is a demo, but there is a part 2 to this game also. Looks like I would be walking home alone tonight. Sounds like my life, home alone. I took out my umbrella and stepped out into the icy rain. It was cold enough to see my breath. I was fairly used to walking at night, but one should never walk this part of town alone. I wouldn't even be out at 1 o'clock at night. I'm in bed sleeping. Especially if you were a woman. Of course, that never stopped me before. I learned to take care of myself from an early age. No one else was going to watch out for me. Not until recently, anyway. I jumped as I suddenly heard a dog bark close by. I swore under my breath. Used to it or not, I hated walking alone. Well, why are you out alone at 1 in the morning then? Oh, there's some logic for you. I made my way further down the dark streets, my shoes smacked loudly on the worn, wet stones. The only routes to my home run through the grittier parts of Lima Lie. Lima Lie. But it looked like the rain was actually a blessing in disguise. Because it seemed that even the worst criminals would rather be at home than causing trouble in this weather. I shivered as an unexpected wind sprayed rain up into my face. That idiot, I muttered bitterly as I pulled my coat closer to me. Where the hell is he? The idiot in question would be my boyfriend. Your boyfriend at 1 in the morning? I started dating him just a few months ago, and he promised he would walk me home tonight. Oh, I guess she works late. Unfortunately, he seemed to be running late again. True, he always tried his best to keep his promises. But he was careless. Then why are you dating him? I'm pretty terrible at paying attention to the time. I picked up my pace as a chill tickled my back. Even with my umbrella, the dampness of the rain was creeping past the warmth of my coat. Up ahead, I saw two men lingering on a doorstep. It looked like they had been drinking. Uh-oh, trouble. Oh, great. I grimaced and tried to walk by as quiet and casually as possible. I would have been running. Seriously, girl, you should be like, kick up those petticoats and just run. But the men were not so drunk that they failed to notice me. As soon as I walked by, one of the drunks called out, "Hey there, pretty lady." And one of them jeered. "How about you come on out of the rain and warm up with us?" I ignored them as I kept walking. The second one spoke up with a bottle near his lips. "Hey, don't you know a monster lives in these parts?" He stiffened up at the mere mention of it. The drunk continued, sensing my discomfort. "He's a real devil, I hear. He likes to crush his victims' faces so they can't be identified. And that's if there is even a body left. Sometimes all they find is big, a big what? Red stain." He snickered crudely. "Be a real shame if he got a hold of a pretty thing like you." I shook my head in disgust and kept walking. Suddenly, the second one perked up with the realization. "Wait a minute. Don't I know you?" Um, say nothing? No, you don't. Usually I say nothing and then just keep running, but I'm gonna be, no, you don't. I knew better than to respond, but the rain was making me agitated and my temper shorter. "No, you don't know me, sorry." Unfortunately, he wasn't fooled. "Oh, no, I think I do know ya. You're Anastasia, that little tart that worked for Vinny, right?" My face contorted in revolution at the mention of my former boss. The drunk cackled, delighted at my obvious reaction. "Oh, yeah, it's definitely her. A friend told me you really know how to please a guy. Ew, gross." "You do business around here these days, honey? If so, I might have some spare change on me." Here's $1. Oh, I turned down a different street entirely just to end the conversation. What kind of woman am I or supposed to be? Oh my goodness. But their laughter and perverted remarks echoed long afterwards. Ew. She like a lady of the night or something? Far away from the drunks, I at last decided to slow my pace. The rain had finally eased, and all that was left of its heavy downpour was faint droplets falling from rooftops. The night air was no less biting, and I was relieved to finally be nearing home. I closed my umbrella, no longer needing it. But as I did, a noise suddenly stopped me dead. Was that the sound of footsteps I just heard? I strained my ears, listening closely for the sound again. Was it those drunks? Did one of them follow me? All I heard was the faint dripping of raindrops. My heart began beating faster as dread creeps in. Hearing nothing wasn't a guarantee that you were safe. It just meant whoever was stalking you was skilled and dangerous. Skilled and dangerous. I thought she was like a street smart hussy. Lady of the night. She should be like aware of her surroundings. She could be crawling through the bushes, like a predator. Like, the movie Predator? I don't know. You guys maybe don't know that movie. I began walking towards home again, forcing my pace to be casual. All the while, I kept my grip tight on my umbrella, the only weapon I had. That brings back memories when I was in Girl Guides. When we went camping, all those little girl guides were out camping in the woods, and they decided to play a game where we had to, like, I don't know, we were like trying to catch each other, like catch the flag or something, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but I took the game quite literally seriously. And knowing me, I covered myself in leaves and I even drew like brown circles under my eyes with my mom's mascara. And yeah, I was crawling along the ground and they didn't find me for hours. They never did find me until like it was like dark out and everyone was like, "Oh, where's that weird girl?" And then they did a search party looking for me, and then they finally found me, and I was still hiding in the bushes. Oh, I would have been good, like, Survivor or something like that. Anyways, back to the story, sorry. I walked another block, but I still had one last street to go down before I reached home. God, a walk home had never felt so long. I know, this feels like it's going on forever. Ah, almost there. I hope so. Almost there. I tried to comfort myself, but my unease only grew. I couldn't shake the distinct feeling that I was being watched. I always feel like I'm being watched. The sudden thud from behind me nearly made my heart stop. I spun around in terror. An eerie wind played through my hair. I saw no one else. I caught a glimpse of a cat as it took off to the other side of the street. It was clearly terrified of something. My heart was hammering in my chest. Okay, get to the point. I need to get home. And I need to get to the point of the story. I need to get home. I need to get home. I need to get home. I need to get to whatever is chasing me, please. The love of God. For all that is, merciful. I took a step forward, ready to sprint to my house. But before I could move, I heard a deep, gravelly voice right by my ear. The voice of a monster. Hello, my dear. It looks like the mummy. Lovely night for a stroll, is it not? It was like a knife being scraped against cold stone, and it sent a shudder down my spine. The voice was chilling on an instinctive level and in ancient times had struck terror in the hearts of saint and sinner alike. What is he, a biblical monster? Yet, despite a primal instinct to flee and fear, I felt anger and annoyance well up in me. I tightened my grip on the umbrella and whipped around to strike the person behind me. Oof. My umbrella connected the side of his head with a satisfying thwack. Good job. Honest, you poop. I don't like swearing. Oh, she thinks it's her boyfriend, and it's definitely not. Oh, never mind, maybe it is. The man in front of me, or rather not a man, was known as Giannis. He had gone by many other names in the past, like Mummy. His outward appearance resembled a statue bearing marble-like skin that naturally cracked with his movements. His face was a smiling stone mask, only able to emote slightly with his eyes. But behind that grinning visage was something far more sinister. He was the dreaded monster of Limo Lai, and I had been dating him for the past 4 months. Oh, well, I thought I was gonna just meet him, like not be dating him already. That kind of ruins the whole anticipation, right? Oh well, we'll see what happens. He looked at his hat with concern, his marbled face completely undamaged by the umbrella. Careful now, love, you nearly knocked my hat into the next city over. Well, it serves you right. What were you thinking, sneaking up on me like that? Giannis placed his hat back on his head, his movements smooth despite his stone body. Sorry, folks, I need to have a drink of my tea. Mind you, I don't know if I should drink the tea. It's got like, when I poured my oat milk in it, it kind of looks like it's curdled. And it kind of tasted kind of like, I don't know, lumpy. Still good. I think it's still good. We'll see about that by tomorrow. Oh dear. Pardon me, my dear, but I couldn't help but notice that you were looking a tad bit gloomy. Oh, look at the cute little star by his eye. I like that. That's cute. And I truly hate seeing you that way, so I thought I would loosen you up a little by surprising you. How do I talk like a marble man? How do I make my voice more marbly? I guess, like stony, like gravelly. I let out a frustrated sigh. Giannis, I wasn't gloomy. I thought I was being stalked. You had me thinking I was about to be murdered. He blinked. It was obvious he hadn't considered that. Oh, yes, well, putting it that way, I suppose I might have slightly erred in my assessment of the situation then. I'm trying to talk like a stone monster. Like I got stoned down my throat or something, you know? Does that sound kind of stony? I don't know. I smacked him on the arm. It's kind of hurting my throat talking like that. But not as hard as I want to. Mainly because that would hurt me more than it would hurt him. Geez, I wonder how they do the hanky panky. Just thinking like that, right? Ugh, that would hurt. Man, oh man. Damn straight, you you blockhead. Don't you ever do that to me again. He put his hands up in surrender. Terribly sorry, love. A mistake on my part, truly. Though I am compelled to ask, what are you doing out here so late, my darling? Shouldn't you have been in bed hours ago? This is actually not the time to be walking around by yourself. By yourself? Ooh, look at her face. She looks horrid. Giannis, you were supposed to walk me home after work, remember? What? You don't work tonight. You were supposed to work Tuesday. It is Tuesday, Giannis. No, it isn't. His eyes went wide. Ooh, that's creepy. Little black pits, little black abysses, you know, with little blue light. Go to the light, go to the light. Did you ever see that movie? What was that movie called? Oh, Toy Story with the little aliens. The light, go to the light. Oh, bugger me, it is Tuesday. He clasped my hands and immediately began showering me in frantic apologies. Oh, I'm so sorry, my love. I can't believe I lost track of my days like that. I'm appalled at my carelessness and I apologize 1,000 times over. Whatever you want, you shall have gold, jewels, the blood of fallen enemies. Giannis, honey, please calm down. Right, sorry, my love. I'm just. I hate failing to keep a promise to you. And if something had happened to you on the way home, I would never have forgiven myself. I took a step forward and touched the side of his face gently. I know, but it's all right. Nothing happened, and the only fright I had gotten was from you and a couple of noisy drunks. No harm done. He signed. It's a strange hollow sound like the doors of a crypt closing shut. If you say so, my dear. But regardless, I promise I will not let such an egregious slip-up happen again. I kissed him softly on the side of his face. like kissing marble, like kissing a rock. Perhaps you should start using that calendar I bought you then. Perhaps I shall, if you promise not to abuse the umbrella I bought you any further. He said this while pointing at my now crooked umbrella. Oh, darn. Guess it's my turn to apologize then. He chuckled deeply. Instantly forgiven. I'll buy you 100 umbrellas if needed. Anything and everything for you. My dearest Anastasia. He gently placed his hand on the side of my face, even though through his glove his hand was absolutely freezing. But even so, there was so much warmth in the gesture, our gesture. Let's just try better tomorrow, all right? Of course, my dear, I am honored by your willingness to forgive a tomfoolery such as I. Though truly I am sorry that I had lost track of the days like that. Time was never something I needed to pay much mind to before I met you. And this night in particular was a bit of a mess. Lots of complications had arisen. I grimaced at the mention of his job. Oh? He noticed my expression and quickly waved away the topic. Oh, nothing that need concern you, my dear. It was all taken care of, not to worry. Although, if anyone needs to worry, it ought to be those drunks that were harassing you earlier tonight. Uh-oh. I had hoped he had forgotten about that. Tell me, love, did they do anything to hurt you? Look, he's still smiling. That's kind of creepy. That is kind of creepy, right? Do you get that? You know, you kind of just look at his smile and those black pits of an eyes, and just like, is there anything I can do? His tone was casual, but there was something sinister hidden beneath it. Giannis would never hurt me, this I know for a fact. In the time that I had known him, he had only ever treated me with kindness and sincerity. He had never even so much as raised his voice at me. I would like to know what he is. What is he? That's what I want to know. How did he become alive, right? But Giannis was still a monster. And while he would never hurt me, he wouldn't hesitate to raze this whole city to the ground if it meant protecting me. And while those men were certainly creeps, I didn't want to read about their bodies being found in the next morning's paper. They were just a little obnoxious, that's all. They didn't make you feel uncomfortable? I think he wants to kill them. He does, like he really does, like he's pushing it. Come on, baby. Tell me where they are. I can get them good. No, they barely even spoke to me. That's me laughing because it's not a laugh of joy, it's like a nervous laugh. I tried my best to keep my expression neutral. He cocked his head to the side, studying me intently, as if trying to decide whether or not to press me further. Then he shrugged and patted my arm affectionately. Well, alrighty then, love. If you say so, then no harm done. But please, dear, if anyone does try to hurt you, won't you please tell me? You mean so very much to me, and I never want to see any harm come to you. He tucked a loose strand of my hair behind my ear. It's kind of romantic, really. I love you, Anastasia. I hope you know I mean that. I smiled, despite the small bit of guilt eating away at me. I love you too, Giannis. I looked into his pale blue eyes. As inhuman as they were, there was so much tenderness in him. How can someone who looks at me with such softness be capable of such violence? He suddenly linked his arm around mine and winked at me playfully. Well, enough about tonight. How about we get you home and next to a warm fire? You must be awfully cold by now. I smirked as we began walking down the street together, arm in arm. That does sound wonderful, actually. Splendid. And perhaps I'll make you some cocoa while I'm at it, since I owe you an apology for my not so charming prank earlier. That would be one way to earn my good favor back. But why don't you let me help you with that? Man, oh man, I would want to go to bed. What? I would want cocoa. Bed. I want to go to bed. There's still stains on the ceiling from the last time I let you touch a stove. There's still stains. Oh, I get it. He like tried to almost blew up the place. What? You wound me, my dear. The fire wasn't even that big. We walked home chatting idly about this and that, playfully teasing each other as if we were just any normal couple. That's all I ever wanted for us. Just to be a normal couple. But we're not normal. He's rock. She's flesh. Rock and stone. Flesh and stone. Just a sip of my curdled tea. Just to wet my whistle. But as we walked down the street, I am forced to pretend not to see the bright red specks of blood on Giannis's sleeve. I want so badly to pretend. Giannis was truly the only person in my life that had ever cared about me. Sorry, I turned down the music. The music is really incredible, but I had to turn down the music because it's so loud that it blocks out my voice. But if you do play this game, I highly recommend just listening to the music. The music is just, it's awesome. The only one to make me feel safe and loved. So I pretend that I don't see the blood. I pretend I don't hear the screams down the street. And I pretend that I haven't seen what his face really looks like. Oh, so that's not him that's not really just him, the stone, the marble? I'll pretend as long as I need to. Now I want to see more. Just to feel a little bit normal. I want to see what he looks like under the mask. Please. All I want is to pretend a little while longer that you're not dating a monster. Oh, right, folks. Yes, it was a demo. So sorry about that. But yeah, I hope you like this short demo. And I do believe they have the full game out. I'm not sure if it's the full game or if it's the second part of the game, but I'll try to load that up also. And I am going to start playing more of the games and loading them up again. And instead of just loading a game like every 2 months, I'm going to try to load one or upload a game every week if I can. Maybe one or two games a week if I can. So, yeah, I hope you stick with me. And I hope you enjoyed my playthrough. Oh, that's cute. You guys are the best. And so do subscribe to Secret Door Gaming if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next game. Let's just listen to this music for a second. That's really soothing to the soul. I like that. Anyways, see you guys later.